What's up guys, I'm Yuri and welcome to my channel. Today we are checking out the Infinity Hybrid pad from Odin Gaming. Odin Gaming states that this pad combines the best out of cloth and hard pads. Usually with these hybrid pads that does not end up being the case at all, but let's check this pad out and see how it works out. So there are two different sizes from the Infernal Hybrid pad. The smaller one is 420mm x 490mm. This is pretty much the perfect size for me, as I just don't like desk mats that much. But there is also that extra large version available. The size for that is 457mm x 914mm. And both of these are actually 3mm thick. So there is a decent variety for you to pick what you want. Keep in mind that with a TKL keyboard, these desk mats don't actually always provide that much more space. For example, for me who has a Logitech G915 TKL, this pad only provides 5cm more horizontal space, and the height difference is only about 3cm between these two pads. Both of these come rolled up in a box, but the pad does seem to flatten out quite fast. The small one was basically laying flat on my desk right out of the box. For the zero gravity, Odin Gaming had a lot of color options, but for now it seems that the black is the only one available. The mousepad has branding on the bottom right corner of the pad, and that is printed on the surface so you can feel it. It does affect glide, but it's all the way on the bottom corner, so it doesn't affect me at all at least. The surface itself is somewhat rough. It's somewhat rough to touch, but it doesn't irritate my skin at all. The feeling on your skin and your hand is actually surprisingly close to an Artisan Zero. The stitching is well done, but there is some fraying. But I've been using this pad with many hoodies and some of them have pretty rough fabric, so I think that's what has caused the fraying. The stitching is raised, but it does not scratch your hand. So at least for me, vertical and horizontal movement did not irritate my skin. The mousepad has a textured rubber base. It feels quite high quality and the mousepad really does not move on your desk. You can move the pad if you want to, but this should never happen in in-game situations. All in all, the mousepad does seem to have a good build quality. By the way guys, if you're enjoying the content, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We just hit that 1.5k subscriber mark and we are on our way to 2000. So big thank you for your support. Looking at the surface properties, it's actually uncoated, so the mousepad should be quite durable. I've only used this mousepad for a week, so I can't comment too much about that. But I will keep using this mousepad, so if you're interested in updates or anything like that, follow me on Twitter. So Odin Gaming did state that Infinity Hybrid does take the best out of hard and cloth pads, which in my opinion should mean that this pad is quite fast but still has some control. And I do sort of have to agree with that. The pad is quite fast, and because of the roughness of the surface, there is still some stopping power, and actually a decent amount of stopping power. So the mousepad is good for those games where you need those precise headshots like CSGO and Valorant. The surface also has a very low amount of static friction. That is a feature that I really liked on the endgame gear MPC 450, and I'm really glad to see it again on the Infinity Hybrid. The low static friction also means that it's easy to micro adjust, so making these really small movements with your mouse is very easy without any static friction. There is also no variance with vertical and horizontal movements with the mousepad. Movement to both directions seems exactly the same for me. The thing that I did not like in the zero gravity was that it was very smooth. Basically it was somewhat fast, but it still did not have much control. But I'm really happy to see that that's not the case in this pad. These rough pads usually are quite fast, but they still provide stopping power. And in my opinion, that stopping power is very beneficial for high pressure situations. I tested 4 different mice and the glide on Infinity Hybrid was very good with all of them. The glide was consistent among all others but the G203. The experience on the G203 was more rough, but altogether the experience was still fast and very good. My Xtrfly M42, my Razor Viper Ultimate and my Zowie FK2 felt very good with this mousepad. I can't confirm that this is not completely affected by humidity. In these Finnish buildings the humidity is just quite stable, but I can confirm that the sweaty skin on my hand did not ruin the experience at all. So how did I actually perform with this mousepad? If you have watched my videos before and you know my preferences, you might have guessed that I like this pad. I did mention that stopping power, and that really adds that heavy precision for games like CSGO and Valorant. And it even helps in some situations in games like Quake Champions and Diabolical. For me, flickshots and tracking both felt very good. I played quite a lot of CSGO and Quake Champions and I performed very well. The low static friction did make it easy to micro adjust, the stopping power added control, and the pad was still fast. One negative aspect with this mousepad is that it's hard to reacquire the target when you're changing directions when tracking. It's most likely down to the fact that I'm not used to the pad that well, but also to the fact that there is more friction when changing directions. But I did notice that situational loss of tracking in games like Quake Champions Diabolical. For example, a migration from the Zowie GSR SE to this Infinity Hybrid is quite easy in my opinion. And I do also think that this is quite of an upgrade to that mousepad. It's just more consistent and it should be more durable because it's uncoated. The feeling is actually quite similar to the Xtrfy GP4, but just more rough. The price on the Infinity Hybrid is quite a bit more than on the Zero Gravity. The small version costs $29 or 29 euros, and then the 2XL size costs $50 or 50 euros. If you are European and you are wondering where to get these mousepads from, you can buy these from Max Gaming. The value for money in this case is pretty hard to judge because I don't know the full durability. It's not exactly a budget pad, but I do think that it will be durable and it will provide good value for you guys. That was pretty much it for the video. Big thank you for Max Gaming and Odin Gaming for providing me with these review samples. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button, and see you in the next one.